Hi guys, welcome back to SwitchUp Gaming. Today's review is brought to us by Jace Glover. You might recognise that name from down in the comments section. He is actually one of our subscribers and I've asked him to write this review and he's done a cracking job, so make sure you say well done down in the comments. Remember, each month we're giving away a free game. This month we're giving away 2 free games. So make sure you're subscribed to the channel, hit that bell button, you know the rest. So on with the review, and thank you to the developer NIS for the review copy. First released as 2 separate games on the PS4 and PS Vita in 2017, Fallen Legion Rise to Glory is a 2D side-scrolling action game with some RPG elements thrown in, with 2 storylines to enjoy, a deep real-time battle system and political intrigue galore. Fallen Legion promises to be an epic adventure, but does it stand strong like the knights of old, or fall to dust and obscurity like its titular legion? Let's find out. As mentioned, Fallen Legion Rise to Glory combines both of the original Fallen Legion games, Sins of an Empire and Flames of Rebellion. Each time you start up the game, you get to choose which storyline you want to play. Sins of an Empire follows Princess Cecille. She tries to keep her failing empire in one piece and put a stop to the rebellion led by her previous battle commander.
It had been an open secret amongst the princes that our economy had been in slow decline for the last decade.
With the help of a mysterious talking grimoire passed down to her from her recently deceased father. Flames of Rebellion, as the name would suggest, follows the story of the aforementioned battle commander as he uses the Emperor's death to try and rally forces against the family who let the empire decay into its current state in the hopes that a new regime will return the land to its former glory. While the stories seem by the book early on, you quickly learn that there is much more at play in the world of Fenumia than meets the eye, and I found myself wanting to know how things would play out. Along with the main storylines, there are also a number of side plots that help develop the rest of the world and which are influenced by your decisions during gameplay. More on that later. This is where my first issue with Fallen Legion comes in. In the early parts of the game, a lot of information is thrown at you and it's hard to discern the main storyline from the side quests. I found myself thoroughly confused in the first hour or so, as the game was asking me to make decisions without knowing who any of the players were. The game does provide a history section in the main menu that provides snippets of information about the world, but I found that most of these were not very helpful with informing my decisions. Additionally, these are not all available at the beginning of the game, and many are only unlocked as the politics unfold and more characters are introduced. As confusing as this was to me, I was worried I would be changing the main story or the ending in unintended ways. However, and you can take this as a positive or a negative criticism, at the end of the day, the political decisions you make only affect the journey and the gameplay, but don't affect the ending or the main storyline. Story scores 15 out of 20. The gameplay in Fallen Legion revolves around a surprisingly deep and complex 2D combat system. In each level, your character will auto-run across the screen from event to event. Each event will either be a story point with dialogue or a combat sequence. During combat, you control the main character along with 3 Exemplars. Each Exemplar is controlled separately via one of the A, B or Y buttons, and pressing that will prompt the corresponding character to use a standard attack as long as they have attack points remaining. Each attack will add to a combo bar, and on the last attack of the bar, a special attack will be used. There is also a chain attack counter that increases with each successful attack, adding to the damage multiplier up to a maximum of 2 times damage. However, damage taken from an enemy attack will reset both to 0. This is where blocking comes in. During combat, you can hold down the L button to make your character block incoming attacks. Combat then becomes a dance between attacking and blocking to keep the counter up and the combos flowing. Your main character also joins the battle with magic commands and has access to 3 spells that use a combination of the X button and directional input to fire. Starting spells include a single target magic attack, an area of effect heal and a revival spell. Late in the game, additional spells can be unlocked, but you're always limited to just 3. Your character cannot take any direct damage, but if your Exemplar falls, the next enemy attack will kill you. Between the main events, you'll sometimes be given a choice to make about how to handle situations within your kingdom. Each choice will come with a tribute, but will also affect the way the journey plays out and how your country perceives you as a leader. Tributes come in two forms: stat adjustments for your exemplars or one-time use items. Tribute options are selected at random from your list of unlocked tributes. But even though I had unlocked many tributes by the end of the game, man, that's a lot of tributes, I felt like I saw the same 5 or 6 over and over again. Additionally, both types of these are only in effect until the end of the level. Decisions will offer sometimes a branching path and a new level to the world map. The decision minigame never really felt impactful to the main game though, and I only unlocked about 3 of these branching paths. One gripe I have with the game is that it often offers the illusion of choice and variety, but never really hits the mark. As previously mentioned, the tributes only affect the current level, so the importance of selecting these is definitely watered down. Another example of the illusion of choice is the gemstone system. Gemstones also provide a stat adjustment or buff, but are permanent for as long as you have them equipped. You can equip a maximum of 3 gemstones ranging in quality. Low quality gemstones typically have a single low power effect, while high quality gemstones have multiple stronger effects. While this sounds like you can have a number of ways to mix and match these, I found it to be quite the opposite. Early in the game I came across 3 high powered gems and ran with these until the end game. Given that you can only equip 3 of these at a time, it's a total waste when you receive a gemstone that is low powered after you've found 3 good ones early on. Now I know that a lot of these previous comments may sound negative and suggest that I didn't like the game, but that's not the case. The core combat mechanics at the heart of the gameplay are deep, engaging and most importantly a ton of fun. New types of enemies are introduced at a steady pace and constantly require you to change up timing and strategy so that you never get comfortable. Switch it up, I reckon. The boss battles especially are unique and interesting and vastly different from one another. I never found myself bored or wishing I was playing a different game. Gameplay receives 16 out of 20. Without a doubt, the strongest aspect of Fallen Legion are the visuals. The anime-style hand-drawn world is gorgeous, with a huge variety of characters, enemies and landscapes. Bosses are especially noteworthy and blew me away every time I came across one. Many 2D action games tend to look good until it's time for attack animations, but this game fires on all cylinders. Attack animations are fluid and spells are flashy and colourful. The only complaint I have here is the pack of 4 or 5 enemies can sometimes block each other, which makes it hard to block their incoming attacks. Also, certain specials and spells are so flashy that they completely cover the enemy group, and they'll sometimes get an attack in when you can't even see them. These are small complaints though, and I absolutely love the visual style of the game. It performs admirably in both handheld and docked modes. Visuals score 18 out of 20. In contrast to the visuals, the audio is probably the weakest aspect of Fallen Legion. Don't get me wrong, what is here is good, but there's a lot lacking. Music plays in the background throughout the game, but the soundtrack is limited and the same couple of songs are playing over and over again. Fortunately, they found a good balance between the volume of sound effects, and the combat is engaging enough that it never becomes repetitive enough that you want to shut it off. It's just sort of there. Similarly, voice acting is sparse and unvaried.
Was dying. It had been an open secret amongst the princes that our economy had been
The special attacks of each of the exemplars is voice acted, but outside of that, only the two main characters are voice acted. Even then, the main characters only speak when they're in a specific monologue cutscene. There are only a handful of main characters outside of the protagonist, i.e. Cecile's advisor Maurice, and the Grimoire, and having them voice acted throughout would have been welcome. Additionally, HD Rumble is non-existent here, which feels like another missed opportunity. On a positive note, the battle sounds and other sound effects are very good indeed. Overall though, audio scores 13 out of 20. While the $39.99 price is at the higher end of the eShop, Fallen Legion has a lot to offer. For your money, you're getting 2 complete games in one, each providing engaging and deep action gameplay and a plethora of unlockables for the completionists out there. Each main story will last you around 8 to 10 hours, but unlocking all of the history, tributes and spells, as well as achieving an S rank on each level, could easily net you double or triple the gameplay time. While there are some missed opportunities and confusing moments, the core systems are great, and this is a game I have very little difficulty recommending to those interested in the genre. Value scores 17 out of 20. Fallen Legion Rise to Glory is a beautiful, fun adventure with an interesting story that is well worth a look for anyone who enjoys action games. It's perfectly at home on the Switch as it plays great on the go and can easily be enjoyed for 10 to 15 minute chunks. This game would be a worthy addition to any Switch library. Fallen Legion Rise to Glory scores an overall SwitchUp score of 79%. Once again, congratulations to Jace for writing this review, he's absolutely smashed it. Make sure you leave him a comment down below, let him know how you thought he did. As always, for all things Switch, all the time, keep it Switch up. See ya!
Next level.